Okay, welcome everybody to the Smart Money live chat. We are back with, one of our top guests of all time, possibly the number one guest of all time, Sean Black, the Warren Buffett of penny stocks, the Richard Branson of Canada, Winston Churchill of. All right, we'll leave it there. Sean, thank you for coming back.
Hey, Jack. Welcome. Good to see you. I hope you had a good summer.
It's been a busy summer. Here's the thing. It's amazing that the summer is really a great time. A lot of these stocks have bottomed out in the last few weeks, and things are really starting to pick up, like visibility. We got TBP, even I think Skylight, one of your favorites. So things are looking good. But what I wanted to bring you back, because yesterday we had the visibility, the Jay on, we had kind of I brought him on because I wanted to do a sort of a demo day, show the video so people can actually see what they're doing. And I think a lot of people were really impressed, because before then we did these Q&As, people didn't actually see it, and now I think people's eyes were opened up.
I agree, Jack.
What was your takeaway? What's kind of your reaction?
I think if you go back in the history of visibility, two ways I found out about it. Once obviously when Jay came on your show, that was one way I saw him live. And one of the guys I follow on Twitter and social media, All Streets Wolf, you guys pointed out an opportunity. But at first, I honestly didn't really understand visibility. I really didn't. I heard Jay talk, and it intrigued me enough to remember. If you recall, I reached out to you and said, "Hey, Jack, is there a chance you could connect me with this CEO?" Two things. I thought he was getting shorted, and then secondly, it was interesting though, and I wanted to do some due diligence on it, because if I heard All Streets Wolf talk about it, and I was like, there's got to be something here. Like he's a pretty sharp guy, does his homework, pretty dialed into some deals, names like this. So I was like, is this real? And he said, yep. And then I got the time to meet Jay, talk to Jay, over Zoom, as in COVID meeting. And I was like, okay, wait a second, this company's real. And in my opinion, it was very close to an inflection point. And so I just started following it, doing more homework on it. I didn't buy right away. Then once Jay started to deliver on some of the stuff that he talked about on your show, I was like, okay, wait a second. This CEO's, he's, walking the walk. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. So for me, that was my first, entry into the company. I started investing. They did a private placement. I participated in the private placement. I got as much allocation as I could, at about 50 cents. I knew that deal was done at. And then, it sat there and hung out for a long time after it had that overhang from a private placement. And during the summer, as you mentioned, last time I was on your show, I said, this has been an amazing time, last little 30 days here, to buy some of these names that have been beaten up over the summer when people are enjoying the weather and not really paying attention. And I always say, when somebody's not paying attention to it, that's the time you want to buy it. So obviously, yes, as he's executed, I've scaled in and made it top 3 holding for me, for sure.
Top three,
yep, for sure. I bought
how many shares? How many shares are you up to? How many shares could you share with our audience? I mean, not to get personal, but
I would say well into the 7-figure share count.
7 figures, so more than 1 million shares.
Yeah, a lot more.
More than 2 million shares.
Mm-hmm.
More than 3 million shares.
You're probably getting close, Jack. But the biggest thing though was to break down the news, to understand what he was doing, what he was accomplishing, how he measured against his peers, other guys in the AI space, other guys in, the tech space. And every time one of the deals were announced, it just de-risked for me. You don't get to, recently they've announced, deals and partnerships with 7 companies that are, multi-billion dollar companies. And some of them are the biggest in the world.
Sean, I think it's really important for. I mean, I think some people, I think a lot of people kind of know you, but a lot of people who are going to be watching this video, I don't know, maybe even a month from now, they don't know, they may not know who you are, right? Like, but so I think it's really important for people to understand kind of your background and how that applies to the case of Visby, because essentially, you have a tremendously successful, background in the restaurant retail business. So essentially dealing with physical, spaces, marketing, location-based stuff. So you understand, how their technology is a game changer for the retail space or even the restaurant. I don't know, maybe the restaurant.
Yeah. I really started for me, the connection was originally made on the retail side. You're right. Like how he was applying his technology to monetize a store. You know what I mean? Like that was impressive. You know what I mean? Because most stores today, just you go into a store, it's a simple, cling on a thing and says, buy 2 pops, get a 50 cents off. You know what I mean? Or, buy 2 beers and, buy a pack of beer and it's, it's on sale. If you watched that video yesterday that you posted, like it was incredible, like how you could see through it, but then as you go up, it reads you, it translates into a marketing, material as you walk towards the fridge. Like that is retail space that most guys, I didn't believe had ever been monetized. There's no way that those have been monetized.
I'm going to do a
security side. Just
I want to pop up the video. While you talk, I'll kind of run it because I want to see if we could so people can actually watch it later. But
so what I did, Jack, I reached out to a couple friends with PepsiCo. That one of my good friends that was with the Mars family. Obviously ran the pet food division, and asked them. I said, hey, what do you think of this? Is there value in this? Is this something you would pay for? And he said to me right away, he goes, Sean, listen. He goes, normally, like it takes 3 to 6 months from the time we roll out a campaign to get the data back, to actually understand what sold, what didn't sell. He goes, so if you're telling me I can, basically change the material on the fly, I can get the information back, which I believe it takes about, Jay, probably 15 minutes. He can get the real-time information about what's working, what's not working, who's buying their products. He's like, Sean, that is gold in the CPG world. He goes, absolute gold. And it's funny, I remember hearing Jay say one time, we found gold, now we just need to figure out how much gold we found. And that clicked to me. As soon as my 2 friends told me about them being able to monetize that shelf space, I was like, okay, now Jay's really got something on in CPG side that guys will pay a lot of money for. Because those customers, once they walk in those doors, they're captive, right? It's not like you just get to the cash and, there's a deal on a buy a combo or whatever in my business. If I can market to them specifically based on age and demographic and the features that I want, unbelievable. So I knew the value of that information that he's gathering and was going to be, very monetized by the CPG companies. So obviously, the Anheuser-Busch deal, as soon as that became firm and you start to understand that, like that deal's unbelievable. Like people are forgetting they have an option in that deal. As they grow it, like it's an earnout. So, once they open up 500 stores, I think it's 5,000 stores, 15,000 stores, Anheuser-Busch then gets to hit milestones and they get access to buy more of the company as it goes along. That strike price is 86 cents that they get to buy at. 83 cents. 83 cents is the strike price that Anheuser-Busch can buy at. They can buy about $13 million worth of stock at 83 cents.
Of Visby, and own 9% of the company for that price. The stock's not even trading at 83 cents today. But they've got their strike price is higher than it's trading at today. So, but you got to think, as soon as this thing's in the money, do you think that Anheuser-Busch is going to let it go, that investment opportunity and the opportunity to potentially control or have a vested interest in the future? Of course they are. So Jay's very shortly, in my opinion, going to end up getting a check from $13 million. That's going to be go forward, acceleration capital. He's not going to go back to the markets. The banks aren't going to be able to short him. So again, further de-risking. But most people don't pay attention to the fact that that's an earnout. I believe they've earned out about 15% of it so far, based on install numbers. But as their installs go up, Anheuser-Busch has the chance to buy more. But you got to think they're going to strike those warrants and buy them and inject about $13 million into the company. That's material. That's a material note. That's trading at a higher number than it is today.
So that there's real incentive there on both sides of that deal. That's the unique part, I think, about each of the relationships that he's been building. They're really connected. Like the deal he announced this week, they're investing shoulder to shoulder with massive companies. You know what I mean? Like they're not paying these companies to associate with them, which pay for play. They're literally investing at the same levels. And the fact that they're getting in on a company like this, they're sharing a board with two fierce competitors. Like Tech Mahindra and HCL are real competitors. So they obviously had to really want to be part of whatever this is they're building to agree to, get on the same board as their competitor.
And that's okay. So you're referring. So this is the deal that was announced yesterday, which is the joint venture.
That's right.
Be essentially infrastructure as a service. It sounds very kind of vague, like benign. Essentially, so you have these major companies getting together with Visby for this joint venture, infrastructure as a service, which is essentially going to be, I guess it's a security application. I mean, and I think from what Jay said, this thing is going to be essentially generating some significant revenues like now. Like
absolutely. And the best that it's not, like Jay said, it's like step on the gas and go, because they don't have to do the installs. They don't have to do the work. Obviously they're getting the chips, in my opinion, everything's coming from Intel, which I believe is the unnamed partner. Jay can't say it, in my opinion.
Intel.
Yeah. Which, and the fact that Intel's investing in it, you got to imagine, there's two ways here they make money on this deal. First is they're going to be the supplier of the software. So they're going to, they're going to make a lot of money on supplying the software to that JV company, which I believe is already booked $28 million in contracts. Like that company's already in revenue. That company's worth a fortune, and they got in at a fraction of the valuation. So two ways they're going to make money off that investment is the actual value creation, being partners with those guys, the company value as it goes up, and then secondly is the supplying them. So Jay, that's a great deal he just did. I can't wait to see on future rounds or what that company becomes worth someday. That's added material. I bet you it's almost similar market cap to what the company's at today. Jay just added by being a partner in that deal.
It's just another catalyst. It's like another catalyst for the stock, which
will start generating in material revenue. He said in Q4. That's not a company they're starting up today, and maybe you'll see some money from it in a year or two. He said Q4. There's a company out there trading called Fobi, F-O-B-I. They're an AI company. They're trading at about $320 million today. They're pre-revenue. Jay's in material revenue, ramping up like crazy, and he's $120 million market cap. He could be a 3x from here and be the same as Fobi, which isn't even making revenue. Are you kidding me?
By the way, sure. We didn't talk about. Yes, I got a lot of flack from somebody brought up Fobi. I said, whatever. But
maybe it is great. But But it's one of these stocks. That's a pre-revenue company.
Right. Listen. Here's the thing. I think there's a difference between something that's real, with real revenues, with validation, regot real partnerships, not some
ABI. ABI is a partner in multiple deals now. They're going to be a partner in the JV. You got Intel. You're a partner in one deal. You got ABI investing money into your company at an 83-cent valuation strike price. It's pretty impressive what he's doing. Revenue's growing.
Let me ask you, so what do you think? Okay, so what do you think is first? Let me ask you this: what do you think is the upside? What do you think is the upside for Visby in terms of the stock? What do you think the stock should be worth right now? What do you think it should be worth today? And what do you think it could be? Let's call it 6 months. I know you're more of a long-term guy, but let's just say 6 months.
I think this is a $3 to $5 stock in 2022 easily.
Okay, so by say March.
I'm going to say June. Yeah, because based on his install numbers, if he executes in Q4 and even comes somewhere near 5,000, installs, that's incredible. And that's only one partnership deal, right? But if he does that, one deal alone makes this company worth more than Fobi, in my opinion. You're talking 200 to 250.
Why do you keep bringing up this Fobi? Is that like the Vancouver stock of?
Right. It's a pre-revenue company that's worth over $300 million.
Okay. No, it's good.
Yeah.
No, listen, forget about it. There's a lot of stocks that are, they have no revenues or whatever. It's a concept, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, but that's risk. That's a lot of risk there. So they're not at an inflection point today, in my opinion. So here's one that is. It's trading at under $1. Like it's trading under the price that Anheuser-Busch has a chance to buy 9% of the company at. That's crazy.
Here's the thing. I think the stock. Look, I think again, I'm talking my book, whatever. I think Visby easily this thing could be easily trading at multi-billion-dollar valuation. I mean, their story is big enough.
24 months from now, Jack.
Yeah.
My guess is at that point in time, organically, they're going to grow. He's going to execute. He'll probably be in a major exchange 12, 18 months from now. $5, $10 share price isn't crazy. I think he'd be undervalued at that price, in my opinion. But time will tell, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm only providing my opinion here in this scenario, but I just think the deal alone with Anheuser-Busch, and you got to remember, the Anheuser-Busch deal is only South America and I don't know, like Peru or whatever. Like there's one other market. Sorry, there's two markets: South America and Mexico, I believe. So that is the two territories. What happens if they call up and say, we want to roll into Asia? We want to roll into Europe. We want to expand that partnership beyond what it is today. It's going so well that, of course, we're going to monetize it in other markets. That one deal alone today puts this company, in my opinion, at $3 to $5. It's just not there yet. So that's why this summer, when it was getting beaten up and the overhang was there, I was literally buying with both hands. Like I think he's de-risked it so much. The partnership deals. I see a steady stream of news that is obviously pending. The partnerships haven't even spoken about it yet. Do I think though Modelo is going to come out? And AB InBev is going to speak about it this fall as it becomes a material piece of their business? Yes. Do I think Intel is going to start attaching their name and letting Jay speak about it at some point? Yes, I do. So when that happens, he's only getting started. That's the best part.
If you look at it, here's the thing. Here's why I think this is easily, like right now, this could be easily, could justify. Let's just say, I'll throw out a number. I'll throw out a crazy number: $2 billion valuation. Which, I know it sounds insane. That would be like $10 a share or whatever. But here's what you got to realize: is that what they're doing is it's sort of the Google, the Facebook of the physical space. This is the biggest market opportunity, right? And the thing is, there's a massive moat, there's barriers to entry. This is hard to do. It's not like somebody creating a website, a search site, a social media site. Yeah, okay.
Even you talked about it yesterday, but like
the
deal they have with JCI, like Johnson Controls, like they're massive. Go on the Sensormatic website. They're speaking and featuring, visibility. They're talking about visibility and saying, like, listen, come look at this service we can offer. Look what we have. You know what I mean? Like I said it before, I've posted this on Twitter and I said it, like, I believe the security side has got a much bigger potential for the company than the actual retail side. Put that into context. Like you're talking 250 million potentially a year just off the AB InBev deal. So if the security side's bigger, like this is crazy. Like I honestly made the mistake. I sold Shopify early. I sold a ton of Shopify stock at $39.99. I remember around roughly, that price. I think I sold about $180,000 worth of it. Today, that stock's worth, $8 million. And, I wasn't patient back then.
But $8 million, that's like a lunch for you. That's not even like.
I wasn't patient, Jack. So, with this one here, I yell it all the time. Got to be patient. 3 of my biggest holdings, Skylight, you mentioned. I've been patient. I've been buying it like crazy. When it was
Actually, hold on. What are your top 3 holdings right now?
Skylight, Visibility, and Power Bands. PBX is the ticker. It's a fintech company. I look at what happened with your PKK. I think a PKK is what's coming on PBX. I think is the same thing that happened to PKK. I've been saying that for a while. They're growing revenue at 53% month over month. Are you crazy? Like, that's insane. So
what about Tetra, TBP?
Tetra is, I say this all the time. It's my passion project. I believe they're going to help a lot of people around the world. I think Q4 and Q1, when Guy validates the trials, that stock could have some material upside. But he's very milestone based, right? Like he's pre-revenue. So there's obviously more risk in it, but the upside in Tetra is there. And not only can it make money for people, it can help people around the world. So I have all the time in the day to help them. And don't get me wrong, like one thing is right here, I don't get paid by these companies. You know what I mean? Like I don't do promo. Guys ask me all the time. Joe can say, "Can I send you a hat? Can I, would you look at our stock and, come meet me and I'll do something?" I'm like, no. Like, what I mean? It's got to be a right fit. I got to believe in it. I got to like the CEO. I got to, and really I focus in on inflection points when guys are becoming in revenue and growing. So Tetra's different for me. It's, they haven't done that, but obviously I like what they're working on. It's top 4. It'd be in my top 4 at the moment. But this summer, Jack, on the dip, Tetra previously was my largest holding. I've just added so much to my positions in Skylight, in PBX, and into Visibility, VSBY, that it's, they've materially moved above Tetra. Not because I sold Tetra or I've been pounding it out. It's just I've added so much this summer into those names. In the last 30, 60 days, I felt like, my broker probably laughed, but thought I had a problem, because I was buying so much of the stock. But it was just, I'm going to hold this stuff for 12, 24 months. And I believe I'll see material upside in those 3 names. With this summer, it was another ticker out there, NXO, Next Optic, which, just so you know, I did introduce the 2 CEOs as well, because they're both in AI. They both deal with vision. So I introduced the 2 CEOs a while ago and said, hey, you guys should talk. Like, maybe you could help Jay, with your vision optics and stuff like that. That stock went down to like 18, 20 cents. I posted it. It was insiders selling that thing. They sold out 40 million shares. I went out to guys and said, listen, like this thing's 20 cents. It's going to fly as soon as these guys are done selling, and they're almost done. That stock took off. It went from 18 cents to 50 cents, I don't know, in a week or two. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a great company. They're, but they need time to execute. And if they become in revenue, that's a company that I would materially invest in. As soon as they start generating revenue, I hold it, but I would buy a lot more. Even though the share price has gone up, I'd buy more. So exactly the point. Visibility de-risked for me so much that I was willing to put it as a top 3 holding. And will I hold it and wait to see if I can get $3 to $5 minimum out of it? Yeah, I have no intention to sell my Visibility shares.
No, I think once they get, they already have revenues, right? I mean, they have traction right now, right? So once they start like really scaling, probably in the next quarter or 2, I don't even think they need. I think the stock right now, like, legitimately could justify, $3 plus valuation, just based on
$2 to $3 right now, Jack.
What they have, yeah.
I will change my opinion of that number and raise it higher if Jay meets the guidance of, 5,000 installs by Christmas, or if he gets 4,500 or whatever the number is. Because then if he demonstrates in Q4 that he can hit that, then that next year, the 15,000 next year, he's going to hit it. You know what I mean? Like, everyone asks, like, there's chip shortages everywhere. How is Jay getting access to, like Intel putting him at the top of the pile and giving him access to chips when other people can't even ship trucks? They can't do anything. Nobody can sell anything because they can't get a semiconductor chip. So Jay is getting them. Intel's the supplier. You don't have to do the math very hard to understand who his partner is that he can't name yet. He's getting access to semiconductor chips where people around the world are crying for them. So Jay must have something. They must like his technology.
Yeah. No, he's mentioned, they got Visibility on their website, and one of their like things about,
So does Sensormatic, which is JCI.
Yeah.
So, like the partners he has are incredible. So I've been screaming it, and I'm passionate. Like when I find something, my business partner Alex jokes around, like I'm like a dog in a bone. When I see something, I like it, and I see the opportunity, I bite. You know what I mean? And I get in, and I saw the opportunity here. Like I said, I'm not paid. You know what I mean? I'll get paid, but it'll get paid by the stock price going up. It won't have nothing to do with paid promo.
Yeah, no. So in terms of the concept of stores media monetizing that physical space. So like you've had physical restaurants, whatever it is, a couple thousand. How big is the average space that you had? The average restaurant?
Well, between the restaurants we've had between, say, 500 square feet and 5,000 square feet. But
so, yes,
like I said, I understood the retail environment for sure. I understand the impact to it. I'm also a consumer. I knew could that influence me if I walked into the store? Answer was yes, of course.
Yeah.
And would I pay for that data if I'm that store guy? And more importantly, I didn't even ask myself. I called up guys that ran, PepsiCo. I called up somebody that ran, one of the biggest pet food brands, in the world. And and asked him, I said, would you pay for this? And he's like, that is gold. Of course I'd pay for that. They run a multi-billion-dollar ad budget. He goes, Sean, if I could get access to that, he goes like, where is it? And I'll tell you one of the things, first thing he did when I told him they did it, he bought stock. He's like, what's the name of the company? And I said, it's called Visibility. I said, but before I got into this thing, I wanted to see, like, is there a possibility that they can monetize this stuff? And his answer was, heck yeah, I can. Like, is this publicly traded? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm buying the stock. He goes, that's absolutely, something I'm going to buy. So that's one of my best friends. So,
you know what, here's the thing. It's like, to me, this is basically like the missing piece for a company like Google. Google basically wants to they want to have, be able to have data advertising everywhere. They control the online space. The one place that they've not been able to get a real foothold is the retail space or the physical world. Mm-hmm. And essentially for them, look, you realize that Amazon, I think, is generating, like, I'm not sure how many billions of dollars from advertising. Advertising has become a huge business for Amazon, on their store, right?
Yeah.
So Google essentially is now competing with Amazon in the kind of that point of sale, right? Can you imagine for Google, if they bought Visby, right? This would almost give them kind of an end run around Amazon, because look, Amazon is getting into the physical stores now, right? With their smart stores, they own Whole Foods. For Google, Google doesn't want to be in the they don't want to be in the commerce business, but they want to be in the
imagine if Google could control the stores, though.
The data business, yeah. So
yeah, because you got to know, like right now, like Jay's mentioned, he's doing the sales and stuff. They're doing the sales, but as this grows, what are those sales going to be worth as they scale? Like, because the moment that you get those buyers, the customers in, and the companies, and they advertise, and you actually show that it works, not only can you charge more, there's going to be a lineup for that, because you have a captive audience. It's like advertising inside. There's a reason why inside Dallas Cowboys Stadium, they're able to charge like more money for naming rights on anything. You know what I mean? Like to put up the Ford sign at one end of the building, and I think it's Chevy at the other end of the building. Like that guy's a genius when he gets with marketing money, because he's got a captive audience. This is exactly what these stores have, is a captive audience that they're going to be able to sell. And remember, this is newfound revenue for these stores. Why do you think AB InBev is pushing it so much? Because this is money that at 55,000 Modelo stores, they never made a dime on this stuff. This is brand new revenue that's going to come from a different advertising, media, and get pumped into their stores. So this is like gold. Like they might make more money in advertising off their stores than they make selling friggin' chocolate bars and stuff out of the stores.
It's pretty interesting, yeah, because the margins in the retail space are they're tight, and also the security aspect, which we haven't talked about. But I mean, again, for a company like I think as soon as they get a little bit of traction, it becomes really an attractive buyout acquisition candidate for a Google, and for Google can stroke a check for $2 billion like nothing.
Nothing. Like, I mean, if that was the play, like with the partnerships he has, first of all, I think, that you'll have to fight over it, you know what I mean? Because AB InBev and all those guys, like who you say at Google, do you don't think they'd want to have customers like AB InBev and all these guys already? Like, I think it could be, in a play out in a year, 2 years, this could absolutely be a $10 stock. I think he'll be on a major exchange, in 12, 24 months. As long as he builds up the revenue, you're talking off the one deal for one market only is 200 to 250 million a year. What does that look like, with other territories? And if, it's one thing to say it's signed, but as I said to you, if he executes, if he comes out at the end of the year and says, hey, we're at 4,444 or we're at 5,000 stores, guess what? And yet we're on track. And yes, we're getting the support from Intel for more chips, and we're going to scale up inventory. Installs are going to hit 15,000 in year 2. Man, back the truck up, because like he's further executed, further de-risked it. I think it's amazing. It would be so beaten up from that private placement this summer. I looked at a few of them. PBX was beaten up this summer. Skylight was beaten up like crazy.
Sure. Let's get to some audience questions. People have questions for you. Okay, so this guy's asking, which stock goes boom first? Visby, Skylight, TBP?
I got asked this question. There's a
boom meaning which one will go up? Let's call it. I don't know. Let's call it a 5X from here. 5X would be considered a boom, right? From here.
From here, 5X?
In the next, let's say by which one? In other words, which one can be a five bagger?
I got asked this question about a week or two ago, and it was between PBX and visibility, and they said, which one do you think is going to move first? I said, well, I think they're both going to move, but I think the move short term materially is going to be in visibility. So, a week or two later, I look great. Doesn't always work out that way. But, PBX has moved, but PBX and, I think, let's say my opinion is there's a Skyline under $10 is a steal. Pre-split, that's only $2. Like, it's a steal, Jack. I was buying that thing this week like crazy on Skylight in the 330, 350 range. And in a material way, I bought stock this week.
What is material? What does material mean? How many shares of Skylight do you have now?
A lot.
A million?
Probably more.
What? I'm sorry. The internet froze. I just want.
Yeah. I'd have to check, Jack, because this week was a lot. I'm almost afraid to ask, but I would say a lot. You know what I mean? And like I said, the same thing with visibility. I was buying it. I bought visibility all the way up to 62 cents because
I got to ask.
I'll tell you, that deal, I was like, holy crap, this is real. Like, and remember, one of the other deals the other day gives them a $2 million upfront payment. Like, these guys are paying him. You know what I mean? Like, Intel's paying to go next door, like shoulder to shoulder with him and becoming a partner. Like, they're going to make a fortune just off that investment, let alone being the supplier of the software.
Who gave Visby $2 million? That was
I think the radar company. Yeah. You know what I mean, on the security side. So that comes with a $2 million upfront USD payment. Like, I just think, like, again, like, people are paying them for stuff. They're not paying to put their stuff in a store, see if it works. These guys are like, people are writing checks. So way past inflection point, revenue's there, growing. So visibility, I still believe. Put it this way, like, I'll be shocked if both visibility, Skylight, in my opinion, like I said, under $10 is a buy. I love it. And if he continues to execute and Brad delivers over the next sort of 12, 18, 24 months, nothing's changed for me. Like I always say, I know the stock went down from, let's say $8 down to $3.50, but what changed though? Nothing. You know what I mean? So if something has
listen, what bothers the Skylight thing is, look, in terms of from the promotional side, right? They built, they built up a large, retail following, right? And as soon as they went on NASDAQ, okay, that's it. We're dropping all, investment marketing.
They were quiet for sure.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's volume. It's why would they do that? I mean, the institutions aren't stepping in yet.
No, and institutions want to come in the side door, Jack. They want a deal. They want something else. You know what I mean? Like, they don't just cut you a check for $10, $20, $30 million and pay the same price that retail pays. They don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I tell people that all the time. Like, they want side door entry. They want a VIP door. They're not coming in the front door. They're going to do that. There was one today. There was a 100,000 share trade today. Obviously, you guys are buying blocks like that on a cross trade. That's somebody writing real checks to get into get into Skylight. But watch though, as he validates and gets a real partner, that stock's going to go up dramatically. He's growing the business. Numbers are great. I watched this video the other day, and I think for guys in this sector, they should watch it. Which Jeff Bezos was talking the other day, saying how his share price went from like, I don't know, $112, $113 in the crash down to $6. And he said he kept looking at the numbers every day, looking at the business, looking at all their metrics. And he's like, wow, everything is as good as it's ever been. It's getting better every day. But yet my stock's gone from $112 down to $6. Like, that video clip that he did is unbelievable. Like, watch that. Nothing changed with the company, but the stock, tanked. I saw the same opportunity with visibility. I saw this because it was at 90-some cents before any of this stuff was done, before they had any revenue, before they had any of this stuff committed, nothing, no definitive deals with Anheuser-Busch, none of this stuff. That stock went to 96 cents. So they execute, they de-risk it, and it was trading at 50. Yeah, I'm buying. You know what I mean? I looked at their competitive set, see where they're at, see what their opportunity was. I saw it as huge. Same with Skylight. PBX, the same thing. PBX's competitor trades at a $25 billion valuation. Not long ago, PBX went down to like, say 70 some cents. I've been in it since 29 cents in the private placement. That company has a chance to be a $5, $10 stock all day long. You know what I mean? So, and I'd be cheap That'd be really cheap, actually. They're growing 53% month over month.
Sean, question. Shredded Like Lettuce is asking, Shredded Like, hey, this is like right up your alley. You're into the lettuce, right? That's your...
Yeah, absolutely. I don't, that's right. VEGN is an investment for me, and great partnership that's on that board. Two great partners. They're going to grow that thing and make it a real company very soon. But yes, so I know a lot about lettuce. TBP, I don't trade their warrants. I hold a lot of them from the private placements, but I don't hold any of the publicly listed warrants. I hate that they have an expiry date. You know what I mean? So I buy the float. You know what I mean? Typically, I hold the float. You know, and if I do a PP, I'll take the warrants, no problem. I just don't buy them in the moment.
So what are your okay? So I guess what are your thoughts on TBP right now, based on where the stock is right now, based on where they're at this point?
If you can wait till end of the year, Q4, end of Q4 and Q1 to see the clinical trial results, I think you're going to have a material win on your hands. You know,
material means how much?
I'm holding millions of shares, and I'm not selling them until Guy gets something across the finish line.
Was material? What do you when you say material?
A material win. Like that stock could be like, I think it'll get acquired at some point. I mean, I really do, for the pipeline. You know, do I think at some point though that thing could be a $2-3 stock? If they get anything across the finish line, yeah. Because what happens, Jack, with TBP is the moment they get something across the finish line, they then validate the rest of their pipeline, because you know it works, right? Like he's after
the halo effect.
That's right. He's after inhalation, and if he gets one, you know what I mean, approved, then he's going to go down the line, and you know what I mean, then he gets quickly approved, then he's going to get comms approved, and then he's going to get Reduvo. Like it's just going to go like this. I think he also gets a DIN number in Q4, which puts him into material revenue. So you know that company, then that's the inflection point. They start going into revenue, they get something approved, I'll buy more stock in Tetra. I'll average up.
Okay, so basically, in the short term, you think Tetra has a shot of $2-3 in the next?
Yeah, if they get approvals, absolutely. You know, if the trial results come out on a P2 trial in the United States and say it worked, then yeah, the stock will fly. You know what I mean? Like I don't know when he's going to deliver that. It sounds to me like Q1. Hopefully, it's if it's earlier, great. But end of Q1, no problem. I'm patient. I'll sit here and wait because that one is a wait, buy and hold. And it's a material win. That's one of the ones you wait.
Buy and hold, Sean. Buy and hold. That's like nobody watching this understands what buy and hold means.
That's when you wake up in the morning and it's sold, or they got an approval and the stock goes through the roof, right? So you don't get a chance to scale into that one. The other ones though are there. Like I love them. I'll be buying more, Jack. I'll probably buy more today of Skylight. I'd like to add.
I would say that people are going to front run you right now.
I'd like to buy a material amount this afternoon. I would like to do the same with PBX, and I'd like to do the same with visibility. Every time I see it, I look at it. I watched that clip yesterday. I'm like, oh, I got to buy more visibility. Like this guy, he's nailing it. Like he's delivering on everything he says he's going to do. The revenue's going through the roof. And then I go and find something like, Phobia, and I look at it and say 300 million with no revenue. You got to be kidding me. Like, this thing's gold.
Like, yeah, listen. There's a lot of these stocks that get promoted with it's a concept of this or that. It's
this is real though. This is real.
That's what happens. Yeah.
He doesn't get through the door of Intel, Anheuser-Busch, Johnson Controls. Like you might trick one of them, but you tell him you tricked all of them and his thing doesn't really work. No, he's providing them a solution they don't have. But the best part about this whole thing, I'd be really concerned, Jack, if all of a sudden Jay had to do all the installs, all the manufacturing globally around the world because he couldn't go fast. It would cost a ton of money to do all these things. But the fact that he assembled that network and brought all those partners, the Tech Mahindra, the JCI, and Anheuser-Busch to the table, and is letting them do all the heavy lifting, it's friggin' genius. Like he's an asset light model, just like PBX is. Those are the ones I like. That's a platform. Like that's really
it's purely technology. It's IP. There's no physical work. Getting hands dirty.
Exactly. On the car side, I hate Carvana because they own all their inventory. Dealers hate Carvana because they compete directly with the dealers. The model that PBX built is dealer friendly. It's all about their technology. It's growing like crazy. So I like Skylight. I like PBX. And I love visibility, and I'm a buyer of visibility. Like Jay.
we're gonna have. Okay, so yes, you know what we're gonna do is I think what we're gonna do with Jay is the next maybe month or two, we're gonna like yesterday the video he showed the demo is actually let me do a quick share.
That was the best one. That was the best interview you've ever done with him, I think. Like I actually I have guys sending me notes. I watched it 3 times. People
sure, I heard it was the best one because I didn't talk.
Well, the one before, I think you were just so excited. You haven't had him on in a while.
I was excited. To be, I'm enthusiastic about the stock. I love what he does. I mean, I love the whole business model, the whole the marketing thing. I think is a brilliant. I mean, I'm enthusiastic about it. That's all it is.
Don't worry. Sometimes too, my business partner's kicking me under the table in a meeting, asking me not to talk so much. So don't worry. I mean, you just didn't have anybody that close to you to kick you. That's all.
So what we're gonna do with Jay is we're gonna break down, because yesterday's video that he showed, it had like 5. He's got a whole bunch of videos with demos. I think when people really see all the different components, then they're really gonna.
You keep explaining to them, like, and understanding the two verticals he has, the security and on the retail side. It's unbelievable. All I have to say to people is, Anheuser-Busch has a chance to put $13 million into the company here shortly at 83 cents.
Yeah,
so you have a chance to buy it cheaper than than ABI. Like it's crazy. Like this thing's a steal. He's not. Then if he gets that money in, he's not going to need money for friggin' ever because he's in revenue. The revenue's going through the roof. I love it. Like this is de-risked to me to the point where anything under $1, I think is a steal on visibility. And I tell that to my friends. I tell that to my family. Like I have. Like I said, I wouldn't put the kind of money in I did if I didn't love it.
Yeah.
If you're watching it, there's 2 guys out there. The guys are on social media. And there's 3 guys I follow. One's Johnny Lambo. I think he's excellent.
Johnny Lambo. I love that.
He's straight. He's a great guy. Like him a lot.
What is it? He's a gold guy, isn't he? A mining guy?
Yes. He is. He helped me a lot. He helped me. He brought emo to me when it was at 5 cents.
You bought mining stocks?
That was the only one I've ever done. But it was him though. He said it, and I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, yes, trust me. It was at 5 cents. He goes, Sean, you got to buy this, but you got to wait. You got to hold. It might take 6, 12 months. It went to $2. I was buying it. You know what I mean? I participated in the PP at 15 cents. I just cashed in my warrants and sold them recently, and my warrants were at 16 cents. Like, I was like, Johnny, I love you. You know what I mean? Like, he's a great guy. There's another guy, All Streets Wolf. I think he's one of the best follows on social media for this stuff for sure.
Who is this guy, All Streets Wolf? Who's it? Because he blocked me. Because I use his thing and spam, and he blocked me.
Yeah, he wants to stay very true to whatever ticker he's talking about. He doesn't want people jumping in on it and stuff like that. I get that. Like he's got a great reputation. People respect him. And then Big Rig as well. Like that guy.
Is he an investor? What does he do?
He's an investor. Both those guys are investors. Same with Big Rig. Those are guys that, if there's something out there, I want to hear something, or what are you hearing on the street? What's going on? Are you guys in these names? Why do you like them? I'll ask both those guys. Like same with Johnny. There's not many people he doesn't know. I ask him, like in this business, or the business of investing, you need a lot of friends. Good people you can trust, and and you rely on the information. And that's why I do get the FaceTime. I asked you for the FaceTime with Jay from Visibility. I got it. Once he delivered on what he said he was going to do, I bought.
By the way, Jay is actually, it's not that, because he's actually a very busy, some CEOs, they're busy promoting the stock. They have all the time in the world to take call. Jay's actually he's really very hard to get a hold of him because he is. And he's doing.
He said in the interview with you, he's on the phone every single day now with Intel. Like if you're on the phone every day with Intel, you must be fairly important what you're working on with them. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're, a part of the future. So absolutely. I think you're only scratching the surface on the relationship with AB InBev. I think he's scratching the surface on the relationship with Intel. I think those are going to be expanded on in a material way over the next 3 to 12 months. And, at some point, I hope we're back here and we're having a conversation when this stock's $5-10.
Yeah.
It's your next PKK.
Yeah, we're gonna have more different demos with Jay. I'm gonna bring him on. He's gonna show more videos. So I think the more people will understand, like this guy, Chris is right. Like the more we have, the more we're gonna show people are really gonna understand, and I think that's gonna really have a significant lift, or as you would say, a material win
Yeah, but as I said though, if he does get to that point and he does hit his install number or even close to his install number, and he demonstrates that the relationship's moving forward in Q4, and maybe some people want to wait for that. If he does that,
this guy, so Jason is talking basically what essentially Visby is kind of in the same AI space. This is like companies like Tesla, etc. This is kind of where the world is going. That's
right. That's why I introduced them to the guys from NXO for Jay, because I was like, Jay, listen, these guys do vision, right? Whether it's on cameras. So you obviously do security, you do everything. So I was like, listen, why don't you, maybe they can help you, and talk to the guys at NXO. So I just introduced them. I have no idea where it goes, if there's anything there, but here's two CEOs that didn't know each other and now they do. So that's
So what about so we talk so in terms of Tetra, so let's so Visby, we're basically you're looking at it at possibly $3 to $5 by next July, possibly 3 to 5. I think we're at $3 by March
right.
This year. Maybe
I'll put it in my calendar and we'll come back and see.
Write this down. Okay.
Yep.
PBP basically.
He's not in revenue. He's all about getting into revenue, get a DIN number, and get on a successful trial out. It'll go through the roof. Skylight's in revenue. He's growing his revenue like crazy. He was beaten up. The guys were shorting him and walking it all the way down the other day. So like I said, I started buying more, and I'm going to buy more. I'll buy more this afternoon. And I'll keep adding until that thing gets to $10.
What needs to happen for Skylight? I mean, what do you think is what needs to happen for Skylight to get kind of out of this rut that it's in right now?
Well, a few of these things. I'm going to say this is the same for Jay. I hope Jay, gets somebody that, starts giving them some analyst coverage, gets them some more exposure in the U.S. because the U.S. people are going to start to really understand. They understand Anheuser-Busch and stuff more than I think the average Canadian. So I think that's Johnson Controls and some of these guys are major players in the U.S. So Jay gets some analyst coverage. That's going to be big. Brad is going to do the same thing, continue executing more smart M&A, move it forward. And then the next big thing that the two things I want to see Brad is more M&A, keep growing your business organically, because I think in any one of these businesses, you got to do inorganic and organic.
Yeah.
And if he does that, which he did, I think it was 13 or 15% last quarter, he was up. That's great. Keep doing your business, keep growing it. And then the next, more analyst coverage for him. And then the biggest thing he's going to do is when he starts moving into the value-based care, the moment he demonstrates that he's in it, whether he does that through acquisitions, whether he does it at some point and gets what I call like the blue check mark on Twitter, if he gets the endorsement of one of the major payers, like one of the big insurance companies in the United States, I ask him every time I talk to him, I go, could you please go partner up with one of the big guys, like a United or Humana or something like that? Go get one of those guys. And what they do is they get you to take care of the patients, or they're patients, but they pay you to take care of them. The moment Pratt does that, well, I don't think it's a $10 stock anymore. I think it's a $15, $20, $25 stock. The moment he gets endorsed by one of those big insurance companies and then executes on those contracts, it's just like Jay. As he executes and keeps growing the business, the value will be created for shareholders. So I think Skylight's, that's the big thing for Brad. Brad, grow your business organically, go get the endorsement, do some smart M&A, and go get the endorsement of a major insurer. If you get a payer to give you the blue check mark, frig, man, Skylight will be worth a lot of money. And that's for me. I don't care if it takes 12, 18 months. I will keep buying that thing under $10. And people think I'm crazy. Some people are like, oh, you're pumping this thing, and laugh and go, it's down. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not selling it today. Some people go like, oh, the stock's down. I get excited because I buy more.
You got into it very early also. When I think you started buying it.
I was buying Skylight at 10 cent range.
That's 50 cent equivalent in that, basically the equivalent.
Yeah, I was buying it down there. I participated in the private placement at 15 cents. I bought it. I did the private placement at 40 cents, 46 cents, $1, $1.40. Like,
what's been your biggest, Sean? What's been your biggest, as you would say, material win stock of?
Recently, I would say emo recently, like from Johnny Lambo. I was in that one, at pennies, and it went to $2, over $2. Right, so that was a big win for me. significant.
Did you buy a Lambo? Did you buy a Lambo? Did you match the Lambos with Johnny Lambo?
No, my kid did ask me that though. Dad, can we get a sports car? You know what I mean? But no, that was a big win. PBX is, I've been in PBX since 29 cents. It's around $1.25. I have a ton of that stock. I'll sell it if it gets to 5, 10.
We're talking 100 baggers. Show 100 bag, like this emo. This stock. Like, what's been the biggest?
Well, that was more than a 20 bagger. You know what I mean? As far as you want to talk about numbers, for well over 20. But 20 yeah. So but you don't have. Hey, you can make the Hall of Fame bet for average too, Jack. You don't have to have every one that's 100.
We got somebody's giving a cheat sheet. These are the Sean Black stocks here. We got a cheat sheet right here.
Those are every one of those.
What's going on with this vegan, by the way? What's going on with vegan? What's the deal there?
They're actually first of all, I believe they went in there. They had to clean that company up. The guys that are there, they took some time to clean it up. I think they're organically growing the business. They're focused on that, and I'm sure. I know I keep sending them stuff all the time and saying here, why don't you look at this one? Go buy this. Go buy this. So I think they're going to do organic and inorganic. And I have no idea what stage they're at in it. I'm looking forward to the results as the team comes out here through Q4. I think they'll, over the next 12, 24 months, they'll do that. Remember, all those guys that joined that board, they don't get paid. And they're all working. They're actively leaning into the business every day. My business partner, Alex, is leaning in every day on that company. Kevin is leaning in. Mark as well on the books, cleaning up the finances, everything, getting it set for the next leg. And the next leg is when you start to go into execution. So if as they do that, Jack, I participated in the 20-cent private placement, but I'll also invest a lot more money in the company. I'm absolutely willing to. As they execute and show that it's moving forward, I will go in the float and buy with both hands as they do that. And on top of that, remember, the guys are there. The guys that are on the board at 50 cents, $1, $1.50, $2, that's how they get paid. They don't earn any of those shares until they hit those share prices. So do I think they're motivated? Absolutely. My partner, he's very motivated. So do I think they're all there and they could have a material win if that thing goes to $2? Yes. So that's what they're in it for. They're not in it, I tell you, they don't need to work for money. They work and go after these challenges because they believe they can, and it's a lot of fun for them. So they're leaning in. They're motivated to get the share price up a lot. So VEGN it's so early. I could care less what the share price is today. You know what I mean? I'll worry about that one in 12, 24 months when they've built a real company.
So Sean, would you ever go back into the restaurant business because you sold your restaurants, right? We still
have a couple brands that we own and we're partners in. So we still have 2 investments. We've sold the majority. Absolutely, we get offers all the time to look at different investments. We've just
which brands do you have now?
We have an Italian chain called Via Cibo, and we have another chain called Bangkok Brewery. But the 2 ones that we sold recently were we sold Burgers Priest, and we sold another one called Fresh, a vegan plant-based business in Toronto. And they were home runs in our industry, and they were acquired by a large public company. And then previously the one as well in Montreal, a company MTY bought our other brands, and as well, they were great. So absolutely, Jack, there's nothing I won't do, but you have to find something you're really passionate about. So I like the brands we have. Somebody'd have to come to me with a brand that, first of all, I call a belly check. The food's great. I have to like the people. And, I'd probably invest and help them grow it more than go create another one myself. No, I'd rather, I've met with several guys lately, and calls come in all the time, right? So you look at the business, meet the people, and see if it inspires you. One gentleman's from BC, he carried me some product a couple of weeks ago. I tried his product. It was excellent. I got on the phone with him. He's like, would you consider investing? And I was like, yeah, maybe investor. Maybe we buy your company. You know what I mean? And help you grow it. And I tell you, those guys are like, what? You know what I mean? You would? And I was like, yeah, maybe we lean in, maybe we help you. We put some money in, I get the guys to come and help us, and we, bring the right team together and make this into something really big. So that's stuff I love to do versus doing it all, I'm not going to go in and physically run a restaurant. No.
But I'm not physical. I mean, you have a management team that
absolutely. And obviously, in every opportunity that comes up, over the years, you build up a pretty good Rolodex. So you know
How
who
many? So the chains you have. How many stores in the current chain?
Right now we have like 10 restaurants left. We've had we had
And if people, so let's say somebody's watching this and they're in Toronto, can they get a coupon? You're going to give our audience a coupon? Free dessert or something?
It's pay for play there, Jack. You know what I mean? For sure. That's the.
Sure, Sean, hold on, Sean. I want to give you because I want to thank you for coming on. I got to give you a plug so so people can.
Via Chibo's in Alberta and Ontario.
Via Chibo.
Via Chibo. VIACIBO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it stands for street food in Italian. And my business partner came up with the idea, Alex, and Mark, his brother, and myself. We grew it, and great food. Our family loves going there.
Wait, where is it? Via Chibo? So where is it? Via Chibo?
Ontario, and Ontario and Alberta.
Ontario, and not in Toronto.
Well, yes, just north side of Toronto. Yes.
Okay. So via Chibo. Okay, what kind of food do they have there? What's the?
And there's Calgary and Lethbridge as well. Italian food. It's all Italian.
No, what kind of meal? What kind of stuff?
You can get pasta. You can get a sandwich. You can get salads.
Like panini type stuff.
Yeah, pizza, but it's more up next scale up. It'd be the higher end version of Panera Bread. With real chefs, real kitchen.
Okay.
That we operate.
Okay, and also in Alberta.
Yeah, Alberta, out in Calgary area and out in Lethbridge. We got several of them out that way as well. They do quite well. Love the brand. We like to build them and grow them and sell them at some point. That's typically what we do. We build it and grow it and sell it. And the same thing here. That's why I get passionate when I see some of these entrepreneurs.
What's the special of Via Chibo in Ontario? So people, if they want to go today, what's today's special?
I'm going to get the broccolini and sausage pasta. It's probably my favorite thing on the menu.
Broccolini is like broccoli rabe, like a little.
Little. I love that dish. It's a great pasta dish. That or a margarita pizza. For me, it's the most simple, pure, best pizza out there is a margarita. And you have one there and you take one to go. That's the rule when you go.
Okay. Are they have like wine, beer? What do they have?
You have wine. You go in, have a Moretti. Go in, have a beer, a nice glass of wine. Get some gelato when you're done. Have some dessert. It's my partner Alex is really good with food, and so that's his passion. And being Italian, he takes it pretty seriously with whatever we put on that menu.
Is the pizza
on that menu without him trying it and correcting it and working on it? He is a little fanatical about the food.
Wait, now the pizza, you have a wood burning oven?
It's gas fired. It's a big dome oven, and then it rotates. The pizza goes in, but it's real flame oven. But it's hand stretched, made fresh in front of you. It's real pizza done right. And like I said, it's done well. Obviously, Burgers Priest and a couple of the other ones were the big wins over the years.
The president's calling. Sean, the president is calling you.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had as well originally Mucho Burrito. And Extreme Pita, we grew those to 350 restaurants before we sold them.
350 for each one, or both?
Combined, one was about close to 100 when we sold it. The other one was close to 250 when we sold it.
That's a lot of stores.
Yeah, they were all over the world. We had them in Australia, UK, Middle East. In the US, we had an office in Scottsdale. So I think we grew into about 50 restaurants in the US. So I understand it, and that's why I said I get passionate when I see an entrepreneur that's really onto something, and he just needs help growing it or help communicating it, and that's where I see the investment opportunity.
I always say, look, I think the restaurant business that's like probably the hardest business in the world. So anybody that can succeed in that business at like scale, understands it can understand or succeed at pretty much any business.
Yeah, you need good food and good people. And I relate that to any business. Whatever your business is, it better be good, and you better have good people to run it. And that doesn't matter whether you're in tech, whether you're in food, anything. And I've been fortunate with some great business partners and a really good team. And hey, if we find the right opportunity again, would we saddle up and go, buy something and get behind another restaurant concept? Absolutely. There's a couple out there. I've been meeting with some of them recently that have come to us and said, hey, listen, we're kind of at that inflection point. We're a little bit nervous. How do we scale it and get it? We might be 20, 30, 40, 50 restaurants, but we'd like to get it to 500. Would you come and help us? And I've met with some of them recently and said, hey, what if we give you the growth capital? We join your board. We help you grow it. Is that what you want? They're like, yep. So, because some of them just want to avoid making mistakes. They know they can run a lot faster if they don't make mistakes. So guys approach us, and we've had a number of those meetings recently, and you got to sift through them, try their food, the belly check, see if you like them before we'd ever saddle back up as a team and go do it again.
Okay, excellent.
In the meantime, I just chase 100 baggers like you, and and invest in visibility, Skylight, PBX. These guys here are my horses, and I'm gonna enjoy the show as they keep growing the business.
Okay, Sean, listen, I want to thank you again. I know everybody watching this and who's going to be watching this later, it definitely appreciates getting like your insight into this and all that good stuff. So thank you again. And hopefully we'll catch up with you, in next, whatever it is, a couple of weeks from now, a month from now, next time there's some exciting action.
Thanks for your time, Jack. And and for guys like Jay and Pratt and, the companies you have on here, PKK, it doesn't matter, like pick them, you give them a great platform. All you do is you set the table. Up to them what they serve, you know what I mean? And if anybody gets a chance to dig deep and find the real ones on here, because not all of them are going to be home runs, for sure. But you got to, if you spend the time, pick the right horses. Your platform is very good for them. It's up to them though to deliver.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Have a great day, Jack.
Okay, Sean. Thank you again. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next live stream.
Okay, bye-bye.